Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Studio Series Voyager class Thundercracker. You can see him there in front of this box. We'll go ahead and put him off the side real quick and take a look at said box. And yes, box here is the Transformers, your logo right there. Of course, the Blue Band Studio Series box. You got Transformers, the movie right there, and Thundercracker and Hasbro right there. Right up here, you have 27 steps to transform. And hey, look, there's his robot mode and his vehicle mode right there. On top here, you have Transformers the movie and Thundercracker and Takara Tomy. On the side here, you have a close-up shot of Thundercracker's robot mode. On this side, you have an extension of, I guess, the artwork. Plus, hey, look, there's the shuttle. They're blowing out the shuttle there on the side, on the beginning of the movie. Bottom here, you have what's included in the box and also some manufacturing details. And the back, of course, you have some copyrights, warnings, and hey, some product shots, including, hey, look, there's that blowout again, and hey, a screenshot from the movie, although that's, I believe that's a bit, yep, wow, that's a, yep, that is a really badly up-resed picture because all the details gone, because that's from when they, that's the bit where they're being thrown out, about to be thrown out the airlock. We have Thundercracker prepares for battle alongside Decepticon leader Megatron. Yeah, that's the bit where they're about to be thrown out the airlock, and boy, all the details gone. So someone did this bad job of up-resing. Anyway, yeah, included also is the instructions, which are not too bad overall. There is one bit which was a little weird, but nothing too bad. Now, out of the box, he's going to look like this, which you can see there. Getting close, yeah, you can see right there, he's got, well, a smile. He got his little smile there. He got his gray right there. He got the blue with the cockpit chest and everything. And the upside down Decepticon symbols and everything. There's little shoulder vents. Got more gray and the black and the mostly blue with some black down here, some a little bit of gray on the feet and on the back here. It's cleans up pretty well for the most part. You got a whole lot of peg holes back here and everything for a good reason. Now, out of the box, there's a couple things you're gonna have to do. Number one, these bits, some wingtips. You're gonna have to attach those out of the box, and you can see right there these things right here. So make sure to attach them properly. They look like that. So yeah, the really pointy end goes up like that. Make sure of that. And then the other thing is, well, the tail fins. Now you have two options here with these regards to these tail fins. Now one, you can see there's a big old peg hole right here, this little peg hole. You can plug them in right there and, you know, line those up and, you know, plug them into the side of this, kind of more like a classic toy and everything, if you want. Get it in there. So there's that. You do that, do it like that. Or, what you can do is, rather than plug them to the side there, you can plug them into the back here, this peg hole right here specifically. So just plug in the back like that instead. And so basically you kind of have a more cleaned up robot mode. And you can see there, yeah, now it's more cleaned up, clean like the, well, like a cartoon, essentially. So there's that. Those are your choices. Regardless, if you do put it on the back, that will force parts forming with the transformation, but you can leave them here and you don't have to parts form it, but I will say it is a little easier if you just go ahead and parts form it. I will say that much. But yeah, overall, it's an actually pretty darn good looking Thundercracker. It's very cartoony. It's very cartoony overall, for better or for worse. And yeah, it definitely looks pretty decent. The only thing is that maybe you kind of get some weirdness here. Kind of maybe it looks a little wider than it should at the shoulders, but it's not too big of a deal to me personally. But for posability though, he's got some pretty decent posability. He's got a head on a ball joint, so you got left and right here. He does go back right there. Forward is a little bit hindered, but there's a platform here which lets him look forward quite a bit. Waggle is kind of there, but not really a whole lot. Shoulders here technically would be able to do full 360 if it wasn't for the wings, but you know, they could go forward and back pretty well. Outward, they got that much. There's of course a bicep swivel. Elbows go about 90 degrees. You do have ball jointed wrists, so they do swivel like so. And believe it or not, he's got a waist swivel. Not a lot of waist swivel, that's the whole range right there, but he does have a waist swivel, so that's pretty cool. They got a waist swivel on there. This right here, this flap can go up because of course the front hips can go forward that far and back. Well, they can go pretty much that far before they start banging into stuff back there. Outward, they do have, well, this thing can get out of the way a bit, and you have pretty much that far before it runs into that thing. Right there, you do have a dedicated thigh swivel right there. The knees can bend pretty decently, about 90 degrees. And right here at the feet, you do have ankle tilts. And right here, you do have a toe joint. It's mostly transformation, but still, you do have a toe joint, so you can use that for stuff if you want. So, of course, there's that. Now, as for his other accessories, of course, there are his little shoulder cans. Again, not null rays, only Starscream has null rays. And, of course, you can do the classic, you know, plug under the shoulders like usual. It's the classic thing, you know, plug those in the arms like that. You could also, yeah, if you really want to, you can plug them into the hands. Although it's not a great connection considering there's a bit of a, you can see, unfortunately, there's a bit of a space gap there, which causes it to not work very well. So pretty much you're going to plug in the hands. Although you can if you don't, you can plug them down there if you want. Or on the back if you, yeah, but pretty much you're just going to be plugging them into the shoulder arms, but not really the hands so much because, yeah. I guess a weird little thing right there. I guess they decided most people don't bother with that. I guess they decided not to bother because most people don't bother because why would you? They belong on the arms. So there's that. So yeah, overall, pretty solid robot, I should say. The only thing is, I swear, for some reason, no matter what, one of his feet always seems to want to float a bit. See, he does this. You can see there's a bit of wobble. I don't know why. Can't get him to like stand fully like nice and solid. He'll stand, mind you, yes, he stands, but like he never seems to fully stand like, you know, fully flat footed. There he goes. Now he does it. Figures. I finally got him to do it. Whatever. Yeah. As for some measurements in this mode, up to the top of his head, he is 6 1/4 inches or 15.8 centimeters. And his weight is 4.9 ounces or 140 grams. So yeah, not too bad, all things considered. Now, as for some comparisons, of course, here he is next to Studio Series Megatron. So you got that. And yep, here he is next to his previous Earthrise release, that from the 2-pack. Yeah, you can see he's a bit taller. He's also much more of a cartoon accurate blue versus this blue, which is kind of going for more of the toy accuracy at the time, because at the time they're kind of still a bit like all over the place about accuracy. And also this has nice silver, but you know, this is just flat gray, so that's kind of a thing. It's like whether or not who you are, but basically determine whether or not which one of these is more appealing to you. Yeah, because that's the thing is, yeah, it's kind of hard to realize because like it's which of these is more appealing to you. It kind of depends on what you prefer. Because like this is kind of closer to the toy in a bit way, and has a lot more greebles and detailings versus this is much more smooth and cartoon accurate. So there you go. So that's Thundercracker's robot mode. So to transform him into jet mode, first of all, I'll take these off the arms right there. Just take these off his arms and put it off the side right now. Now, right here, of course, you could, you know, if you put them on the back of the wing, you'll have to remove them. If you left them on the legs, you can leave them there, but because you're going to rotate them. But I would recommend taking them off anyway, just because it's just easier. They'll have a tendency to pop off. Because yeah, what you'd do eventually, you actually would just rotate them right here, just kind of bring them up like this. Yeah, you kind of bring them up like this. So again, I just recommend pulling them off entirely. That just makes it a lot easier. So regardless, yeah, from there, go ahead and take the arms here, and you open up the forearm like this. You rotate the fist in and close it back up like that. Same thing. Open up the forearm, rotate the fist inward, close that back up like so. And right here, what you want to do is this, you kind of pull this forward a bit, and that will separate the waist, and then you can bring the waist down like there's a hinge right there, so you can separate the waist and the rest of it. And then right here, you go ahead and untab this from the right here. You just kind of bring that out like this, and take the cockpit section with the head, and you use this armature and just kind of bring it up and out like that. You use this, you see there's a hinge right here. You just bring that up and out and just kind of bring that out like that. What you want to do here is take these bits right here, the hip skirts, and you want to fold these into the center like this. Then take the arms and collapse them into the torso like that. So sitting like that. You go ahead and bring this back down. This, you can see these pegs right here will go into the holes right here, and these tabs right here go into little slots on the back side of the chest piece. So like, well, like that essentially, and like that. You see that holds all in place. And right here, what you want to do, when I bring this up, see this right here. You can see these are kind of, this kind of mentions these are kind of flared out a bit when you have it in robot mode. You kind of want to bring these in and also kind of bring the head up. And you're going to want to line these up. So these tabs right here will go in the little slot right here on the back of the cockpit. And while this stays folded up. And getting these hinges into the exact right position can be a little tricky sometimes. Getting everything lined up perfectly can be sometimes a little bit on the tricky side. I almost forgot to mention, actually, now I'm thinking about it. There's light piping. It's not great light piping, but there is light piping right there. It's weird because it's translucent on the back here, and then you got painted eyes. So it's kind of weird because you get this bleed through effect of the translucent, but almost forgot to mention that there is light piping, which is kind of neat. Anyway, yeah, getting that right there. Yeah, get that all squared away. Make sure this is pushed up as far as it can go, right there, as far as up it can go. And then you can take the nose cone here and unfold it and fold it up, and this will tab into the front like that. That's pretty much that done. So back here, what you want to do is take the feet here. You want to straighten out the feet and then fold the toes up like this. And then back here, you want to open up the back of the leg like this. And right here, you want to bring this out, untab the knee right here, and then collapse it at this lower head. You want to collapse it down and then retab it in. Collapse it down and retab it in, and then bring this and close this back up like that. You see it's a bit shorter now. So same thing, open this up, untab this, collapse it down, retab it in, because it's, I don't know how you see that, but there's two sets of slots. There's two different slots in there. You want to tab this in the lower slot. Sometimes it's a little finicky. You tab that in, tab that back up, then tab the legs together like that. Make sure it's straightened out. Then take this piece right here and bring it back. This big old square peg will go into this hole on the back of the waist right there, and then bring this down right here. Make sure it's all lined up like there, like that. So it looks like that. And then untab the wing right from the back right here and rotate it down like this, and rotate this back, and this will tab into the side. Of course, on mine, this wing likes to pop off. I swear this keeps happening with like almost every other seeker I get. One of the wings likes to pop off. I swear, it keeps happening. Anyway, bring this down and tab it into the side like that. And then untab this, bring this down and tab it in the side. Make sure it all clicks in. Make sure this comes all the way down. Like that. And then this is where, again, this is where I bring in the tail fins. It just, so you can see there's the big peg and the little peg that go in those little holes right there. And also there's a little tab right here, which goes in a little slot right there. Just do it like this. It's so much easier than just trying to keep it on. I don't care how much you hate parts forming. It's just easier to pull them off and reattach them. Attach those and then flip those tail fins down. Then you take these guns and then, of course, peg them to the underside of the wings. And of course, right here, final bit, which is you bring out the landing gear right here. And then with that, you have Thundercracker in assault mode. Yeah, Thundercracker here that's all very F-15-esque jet mode. Yeah, very F-15-esque again. You got the nice red and white stripes right there. You got the Decepticon symbols. You got a bit of gray right there, dark gray right there. You got the light gray for the intakes. The dark gray on the fins right here. You got the thrusters, and yeah, it's got the thing of like. Yeah, pretty much like every single time, which is, hey, look, there's clearly some robot parts underneath, including, hey, there's a head right there. But it's not too bad, all things considered. Again, at least there's landing gear, at least there's front landing gear. There's no rear landing gear, unfortunately. Yeah, I got the thing, there's no color thing. This time there's no color thing right there, so I guess that's something. I don't know whether or not it's an improvement. It depends on you. Thing is cool is actually right here, when you transform it, there's right there, you can see inside there is actually a little flight stand now that you can plug into, so you can have them motion around with that. That's pretty cool. Actually, I gotta test this. I didn't try this before, which is, can these? No. Fortunately, the thrusters are not blast effect compatible, which is unfortunate. And although the guns, I almost forgot to do this, which is the guns here should be, yeah, they are in fact blast effect compatible, so there is that. Unfortunately, yeah, there's no, you can't plug them in the thrusters though. There is, yeah, still very much a Seeker underside for better or for worse, and there's this massive hollow space right there. Whether or not that's good improvement over the Earthrise version is up to you, but also another cool thing is, hey, look, you can open the cockpit. Hooray! There's some molding detail, including a chair, but not really a whole lot. Yeah, I got the orange translucent bit, so that's pretty cool. That's a thing. And unlike the Masterpiece, it uses the real cockpit for the, for the chest. And also, unlike the Masterpiece, it has a waist joint. But yeah. Overall, it's not too bad, actually, I think. Considering the limitations of retail and everything, it's not too bad of an attempt at a Seeker overall. So there is that. Now, in this mode, some measurement stuff, his length is 8 7/8 inches or 22.5 centimeters, and his wingspan is 6 inches or 15.2 centimeters. So there's that. Now, for some comparisons, well, I don't know, this is kind of weird comparison, but whatever, we're doing anyway. Here's Studio Series Megatron in his tank mode, because why not? And there's that. And of course, here's Earthrise Thundercracker in his jet mode, which, yeah. Bit, it's kind of a weird thing. Yeah, it's that weird thing of like, it's like, it is a bit definitely an improvement. I mean, like, yeah, it's kind of weird how you can see it actually doesn't stick down as far. Like the robot bits don't stick out as far. It doesn't have the collar. It actually has landing gear. Yeah. And also the rear thrusters are, actually look like thrusters rather than kind of like, that's just folded up feet. Right? Yeah, other than that though, it's actually, you can see it's pretty similar. The jets are not surprisingly very similar in how they're designed because they've been doing this for years now. It is basically an F-15. Hell, even some of the molding detail, some of it, not all of it, some of the molding detail is very similar. Not all of it though, but yeah. Definitely the cockpits are a bit different though. You can see that. And this one does have an opening cockpit because of how it works. So, I don't know. I think, yeah, it is an improvement. I think it is an improvement, but it's not a huge improvement, which is kind of where we are at now, which is, well, should you get this guy? Well, of course, the problem is, of course, he is a Voyager, which means he is at the new $43, or at least supposed to be at the $43 price point. Again, some people reported that some stores still seem to be selling these guys at $35, which, if you can find it at the $35 price, snap it up. Just get it. Just don't care, get it. It's still a good thing. Particularly, the Thundercracker was kind of difficult to get. The previous Thundercracker was, either you had to go get the 2-pack from Target, which was exclusive, or you have to buy the expensive Takara multi-pack with the premium paint job and everything, which released right before this guy was coming out. So, hey. But it's a good toy, and it's definitely, I think, an improvement over the Earthrise version, but I'm not sure if it's a big enough improvement to justify, if you already have one, justifying the $43. Now, if you get them for the $35 price, I would say go ahead and pick them up. And of course, now that we're seeing Thundercracker, yes, obviously we're going to get Skywarp and Starscream at some point. It's just interesting we're getting Thundercracker first. They even kind of mentioned that when they revealed this guy. Like, yeah, they were doing something different with, we're going to show off Thundercracker first. Regardless, yeah, we're clearly getting a new set of Seekers, and which means a lot of people are going to be selling theirs. I've noticed some people are saying very much they prefer the Earthrise versions, and the thing was they never were able to get Thundercracker and Skywarp, so I'm going to definitely be trying to sell mine as a set, so someone who likes those. So hey, someone will buy them. Definitely getting Skywarp and Skyscream at some point. So yeah, this is the first of the 3, I guess. I'm not sure if they're going to do the Coneheads. If they do, I think I might go ahead and keep my current ones, just to help differentiate them further, because they are supposed to be a bit different. So I think I'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, I'm not going to go ahead and go crazy with Seekers again. That's a little one-time thing. I'm not doing it again. But overall, it is a very solid, fun toy. They actually managed to make some significant improvements, again, including a waist joint and everything. The transformation is still pretty good. The only thing it's kind of weird is sometimes getting the cockpit here kind of tabbed into this and everything sometimes is a little finicky, unfortunately, which is weird. It's a little weird and annoying, but it is a little finicky. But generally, it's a really fun thing. And yeah, the only thing is, yeah, the tail fins, it's easier to parts form. You don't have to, but it's easier. So there's that. So I think it is general improvement. It's kind of one of those things where that weird, unfortunate thing is because of price increases, it's harder to justify just going ahead and getting it. It's still good, but yeah, if you don't have the previous Thundercracker, go ahead. I think it's go ahead and make that judgment call of whether or not that $43 is worth it, or if you find it for $35, definitely pick it up. So there you go. It's that really annoying thing. The price increases are really screwed up the math here. So that's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my social media down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Ko-fi and my Patreon. I shall see you next time with another video review.